We all need someone in our corner looking out for us who wants us to win. Array is that someone. When we do our best, we not only do well for ourselves, but help others as well. Starting right now. There may be situations in which serving as the coach for an individual is a conflict of interest, and you'll have to transfer that person to another coach. This training app will cover when you'll need to reassign a mentee and how to appropriately hand them off. Now let's look at where this play would fall on the peak performance equation. Reassigning a mentee would fall under role workflows. It's a method used to ensure that coaching is fair for all mentees. On the next slide, you'll see when this play should be utilized. There are a few reasons why a mentee would need to be reassigned to another coach. If there's a conflict due to your relationship with the mentee, this would include if you have a personal relationship, like if the person is a friend or relative. It would also be a conflict of interest if you coach another person with whom the mentee is having issues with. It would also not be a good idea to coach anyone who you may manage or work closely with, so keep your position in mind and reassign a person if they're in your management chain. These are important to remember moving forward so that you, as a coach, can avoid any conflicts in order to remain professional, unbiased, and fully supportive of your mentee. Let's look at some specific examples of how this may play out so you can get a better idea of how to recognize when you should reassign a mentee and how to do so in a way where they feel like they're still taken care of. Roy is one of your mentees and is on the IT team. Lately, he's been helping you with developing some technology for coaching. Since he started working closer with you, you feel as though it's a conflict of interest and that you should reassign him to another coach. You can say, due to the fact that we've been working so closely together lately, it's no longer in your best interest for me to serve as your coach. I'd like to transfer that responsibility to my peer. I'll brief them on where we're at in the coaching program, and they'll take over as your coach. Another similar situation is happening with your mentee, Brianna. Brianna works in your office, and you've become friends and often hang out outside of work. You can have a similar conversation with her. You can say, hey Brianna, since we've become friends, I don't think it's in your best interest that I serve as your coach. I don't want our friendship to get in the way of there being open and honest communication with your coach. You'll want to really try to sell it as, I want what's best for you, and what's best is for you to have an impartial coach. Lastly, you have Kevin, a mentee who's struggling with feeling great at his job. You crack the case with him and realize that he's butting heads with his manager, Steve. Unfortunately, you also coach Steve, so you're put in the tough position of being in the middle. You'll not be able to effectively coach both sides of the situation, so you'll have to notify your mentee as soon as this becomes apparent. You can say, I'm so glad we were able to identify the issue. In the interest of transparency, I also serve as a coach for the person with whom you've identified as a root cause of your current challenges. Your coach needs to always be on your side. Because I also coach Steve, I'd like to bring in one of my peers to help support you through this challenge. I'll brief them on the situation and they'll reach out and meet with you. Please know that I won't share anything we've discussed today with the other mentee in question. There are a few important things to note as you execute this play. First thing is to remember to remain supportive. Let them know that you enjoy being their coach, but that reassigning them is for their best interest and that you want to do right by them. Let them know that you're doing this with the coaching mantra in mind. You want them to love their job, be great at it, and see an exciting future, but that can't be ensured on your end if there is a conflict of interest. And lastly, make sure that the new coach taking over has up-to-date information about the mentee you're assigning to them. Inform your mentee that their new coach has been briefed on where they're at in the coaching program and that they'll be in good hands. Your mentee will understand that you're doing this because you want to ensure that they'll get the most out of the coaching program. Just show your support through the transition and provide encouragement that this is what's best and that their new coach is ready to pick up where you left off, and that they're fully capable of taking things from here. Hopefully this won't happen often, but this play will prepare you for when and if this situation arises.